At this point, we need to make sure that we're logged into Steam, and then if you launch that, you should be able to launch the item test.executable in the source SDK. So you're going to need to make sure that you've got the source SDK installed as well. Unfortunately, that actually didn't work for me launching from the source SDK. So instead I had to incorporate some tips that I actually found on this link here in the Steam community. And if you just search in Google for fix item test black screen, you'll basically be able to quickly find this link. And I just followed these steps here, and then at that point I was able to actually navigate to the item test.executable in its location and then run it from here. And I currently actually have that open now, which is this application. So what we need to do is load everything in here. So we can give this a name like cone hat, and then we can, the class for this is going to be engineer. I'm going to select to auto skin to the BIP head bone, and then I'm going to click on next. And then all we need to do is browse for the object, and I've placed my objects in here. This is the cone cam hat.obj. Just open that up, and then I'm just going to browse for the LOD object, which is here, and then open that as well. And thankfully everything is saying valid so far. Then I'm going to click next. So it's just using cone cam hat underscore n as the material name, and the common texture is located with my image files here, the game asset textures, the cone cam hat underscore d, and the normal map is located in the same place. Let's open that, then click next, and then I'm going to compile this. Click on dismiss and continue, and then I'm going to click on the explore model game directory, and then just basically copy the link. And then what we want to do is launch into Team Fortress 2. So once Team Fortress 2 has been loaded, we can click on the workshop and then just load test map. Once the test map is loaded, we can click on the continue for these screens, and then I'm just going to click no on the coaching, and then just click a random team. The class I'm just going to choose as being the engineer. See, now we've been working with him anyway. And then for this, we can just move around now, and with W, A, S, and D, and then we can just left click to fire into the screen there, just blast off this shotgun. But otherwise we can click F7 and that will load up this item testing screen. And then for this we can just check the engineer. I've actually already loaded in the cone hat as a test, so we can edit this, find that model, just select the model, find the location where we compiled it to moments ago. So this is the cone hat.mdl now. Then we can click on open and then click OK there. Now you might need to hide the hat, but in any case I've noticed that sometimes that this works without. So I'm just going to click on OK and then add an engineer, and then just click on the add a few times. So just clicking on that about 4 or 5 times, and then apply the test items. And then for some reason this happens, I'm not sure what step I'm missing out here, but if I just do that again, so F7, add an engineer, then click on add a few more times, and then apply those test items, they seem to show up then. And we can see over here the engineer is now in his idle position, and the hat is sticking in the right sort of place. And if we zoom out a little bit, we can see maybe it's more noticeable on the clothes. In fact, you can see at this point it's loaded in that lower level of detail prop on the clothing there, and then if we just kind of move it in a little bit, it swaps it out for the higher resolution one. So assuming it's at that point that it's loading it out for the hat as well, it seems to be standing up all right. It's no glaring issue when it pops. So I think that's probably a reasonably good job. And also we can see that the normals seem like they're pretty much working okay. And otherwise, let's just blast him in the head just to really just try and knock the hat off, and then you can see it's got its own little bit of collision as well automatically. And then in a little bit of time this should just sort of fade out naturally. I think you can just sort of blast it across the floor. In fact, once this sort of fades out, I think we'll get a replacement engineer. There he is, and everybody's happy and no harm done. So with that, that should conclude the whole game asset pipeline for getting this prop all ready and prepared for Team Fortress 2.